Alright, what do you got to know for Army OCS? I'm going to tell it all and give you guys some of the advice that I wish I would have had before I left for Army OCS. Alright, so if you haven't watched any of my videos before, I'll kind of introduce myself. So, Joe McNaig, been in the Guard for 4 years. I've created a video before and it has over 100K, so I figured, I'd do this again, sit in front of the camera and talk about my experience with Army OCS. So yeah, I left as a E5, so a sergeant, and went to Army OCS in July 13th, I think was the start day, or July 14th was. So yeah, federal OCS, which is going to be your 12 weeks, which is a little bit different than we have state OCS, which is 18 months or so, where you're drilling every weekend, doing like your requirements to become a second lieutenant, as well as another option for the National Guard is to go to accelerated, which is an 8-week program, pretty much like federal OCS, but just expedited, and you don't get weekends off. Something that I thought when I went to federal OCS is I thought I was gonna have weekends off. You really don't get weekends off besides Sunday until maybe halfway through, maybe honestly 3/4 way through. You're kind of always studying. I'll get into that in my next video, kind of breaking down OCS once you get there, and going through all the phases, going through all the things we do there, all the tests, all the requirements to graduate to become a second lieutenant. So, all right, so I'm gonna use my iPad here now to kind of go over some things, but you just got selected, your unit just told you, or your recruiters told you, you're going to Army OCS. So before you go, who you're going to see there? You're going to see in-service folks like me, ranging from people that joined a couple years ago, like me, 4 years ago, all the way people that have been in the Guard, Reserve, or active duty for maybe over 20 years. So just expect that you're going to have a lot of different ranges from skill level. You're going to have people that, just joined, obviously your 09 Sierras, and then you're going to have your, 20-year people coming over to the O side, starting first class, sergeants. So just expect there's going to be a wide variety of knowledge. So that's really good. You're going to also see prior service. So people that were in the Army or in the Navy, Marines, Air Force. You're going to see some of those folks that are switching over to the Army just because it's easier to go to Army OCS than a lot of those branches. Also, if you're watching this, I'm guessing you're maybe an 09 Sierra. So this is new to you. You've only been to basic training, or you haven't even shipped to basic training, and you're just trying to figure out what OCS is going to be like. But obviously you have very little Army experience coming from basic training. So you need to definitely lean on the people that have been in, your in-service or prior service folks. And you're going to be competing for your branch. So that means all those 09 Sierras, you guys are going to be just competing, trying to rank as high as you can. I'll get into more of that in my next videos, but pretty much you pretty much have to do as best as you can to get what you want for your branch. So what type of cadre are you going to have? So you're going to have a captain and a sergeant for each of your platoons. Your captain's going to be pretty new to the game. A lot of ours were been in for 4 years, coming from ROTC, and then your sergeants, you're enlisted on your platoon. You're gonna have definitely some seasoned ones that have been in the Army for at least 10 years. So that's great. They're good to lead on. They've kind of done it for a while. They kind of know the game. Kind of going to the packing list. So this is super important. I would have everything on the packing list. You never know if you're going to get recycled. So if you're going in the winter time or the summertime and say you get recycled and it's winter time, you're going to need all that, your PT, cold weather stuff. So just bring everything on the packing list. It's going to be expensive. I brought every single thing and I think I spent around $600. Didn't have to buy a new dress uniform. That could definitely get you into the 1,000 ranges. But just get everything. Some additional items that I would say to bring. If you don't want to make your bed, bring a blanket. The pillows suck in the Army, so get over it. Bring a pillow if you can't have it. A fan if you sleep hot and your room might be hot, so I'd recommend a fan. Inflatable mattress if you do not want to make your bed. I just slept on top of my bed, but I know a lot of people that had an inflatable mattress and they would just sleep on it every night, get good enough sleep. For me, I felt when we went to the field, an extra tarp was nice, because you're using one tarp to cover you, and then it's nice to lay on something. So I had an extra tarp. Poncho is great. That's what I had, a poncho, which was awesome. I think I was like the only one that had it, and it was amazing. Bring copies of absolutely everything. Worst case is you don't need it. So just bring everything and you'll be fine. Do yourself a favor and get a printer if you don't have one and you're planning on, bringing it to your duty station, or if you're bringing it home as a National Guard Reserve, if you don't have one, get one that's, you can just transfer pretty easily. You don't have to have one, but they do come in handy. If you're at 09 Sierra and you're coming from basic training, have somebody bring that packing list for you. I'll put a link to the packing list. I think it's from 2025 of March, so it should be still about being the same of what you need. I'll link that, but either buy it before you go to basic training and tuck it away and then have someone bring it to your graduation, or have them trust somebody to get it for you. It's a lot of stuff, so maybe get it ahead. Because if you don't get that packing list and you just go to OCS, you are going to pay an arm and a leg for every single little thing on that packing list. They have a company, Commandos, that pretty much profits off of OCS people because they mark up everything like at least 2 times, maybe 3 times. So just come with about everything, and if you need a couple items from Commandos, I didn't buy anything from Commandos, but I know people did if they were missing a few things. Don't study anything before you come. Unless you're in the Guard or reserves and say you go to a unit where they're trying to help you and prepare you for this, that's the only time I would spend studying on any of the thing here or anything you're going to learn here, because you're just going to be immersed to it as soon as you get here. So just, don't study and don't stress too much about anything. I would say just come physically ready, because mentally you're going to get challenged here. It's a tough 12 weeks mentally, just with all the workload and not being able to see your family and stuff, and not having a ton of time to yourself, at least for the first 4 weeks. Height and weight, it's no joke. So if you fail height and weight, you're going home, especially for in-service people, because your unit was supposed to check and make sure you were good to come before. If you fail height and weight, I know a couple people in my class got sent home, and I know with the new class that started in October, they're sending people home if they can't pass height and weight. Even if you pass ACFT, if you can't pass height and weight, you're going to go home. The new mile time is 4 miles in 40 minutes. So, just be able to do that. I would say shoot for 36 minutes. That's what the standard was when I was there about a month ago. So shoot for the 36-minute mile. 36 minutes for 4 miles. So, 9-minute mile. It's not too crazy, I don't think. PT test can be on day 1. So don't eat a ton of food before coming to OCS, or you're going to feel sick. Don't heat CAD, or you're going to recycle. I'll talk a little bit about recycles before we end this video and I start making some for the future. If you recycle, if you have no class behind you, which happened in my class, you're waiting 12 weeks to start with another class. So you might as well come in shape, might as well come ready with everything, mentally ready, because you're going to be there. Either you're going to wait 4 weeks for the next class if you have a class behind you, or in our company's case, there was nobody behind us because they were taking a little break. So they were waiting for 12 weeks. That's not fun. So make sure you're able to do all the requirements that fitness, just be mentally ready to learn. You're going to learn a lot. It's going to be challenging. But just to end this video, I would say just go with a good mindset. Go with hey, I need to pass all this stuff because I don't want to be stuck here, because honestly, that's what got me through it. Just laying low. I studied a ton. Any free time I had, I would be studying whatever, what was coming up next. Even if we didn't even start it, I was learning it, studying it, just so I wasn't going to stay any longer, and I wanted to make sure that was going to happen. push for high scores. If you push for high scores, like, you're probably gonna pass everything. If you just push to be mediocre, you might fail something, and you might be stressing out. You only get 2 chances on everything, so just make sure you do your best, shoot for the moon, and you're gonna make it. Maybe not the first time, but you're gonna make it through OCS. Just shoot for it to be the first time, because you don't want to wait around. But I'll cap this video at this. My next video will be going over, like, kind of going through all the phases: black phase, blue phase, white phase, graduation, all that stuff. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully you learned something from this. I wish I had this before I left for OCS, because I think it can be a good resource to know what to expect.